Welcome to Chrono Wheels. Let's talk about the point where engineering stops being a discipline and becomes a form of madness. For years, the apex of the hyper-naked world has been a brutal, beautiful arms race. Bigger twins. More complex V4s. It's been a fight over fractions. Over how to make a street-legal engine breathe a little deeper, rev a little freer. Kawasaki looked at that race, smiled, and decided to bring a bomb to a knife fight. They already had the ultimate street-legal provocation, the Supercharged Z H2R, a masterpiece of controlled insanity. But what happens when you take that provocation, strip away every single concession to legality, civility, or self-preservation, and point it at a racetrack? You don't get a motorcycle, you get a physics experiment with handlebars. You get a statement so loud it drowns out every other spec sheet on the planet. This is the 2027 Kawasaki Z H2R, and its mission isn't to compete. Its mission is to obliterate the very concept of a hyper-naked. Let's start with the heart of the madness, because everything else on this machine exists solely to serve this one component. The 998cc inline-four isn't just supercharged. That word is too gentle. It is force-fed. It is violently pressurized. Kawasaki's engineers haven't tuned this engine. They've weaponized it. The centrifugal supercharger has been re-engineered with a new, more aggressive impeller and gearing, designed to spin at speeds that would make a turbine blush. It's not providing boost, it's declaring war on atmospheric pressure. The internals are no longer motorcycle parts, they are aerospace-grade components forged in the fires of pure necessity. Forged pistons with a deliberately low compression ratio to withstand the apocalyptic cylinder pressures. A CNC-ported cylinder head that doesn't guide airflow, it screams at it to move faster. The cooling system is a network of radiators and intercoolers that looks like it was pulled from a Formula One car. The goal? A number so absurd it feels like a typo, over 350 horsepower. But here's the thing about a supercharger. The magic isn't just in the peak number. It's in the delivery. There is no lag. No waiting for turbos to spool, for revs to build. The supercharger is tied directly to the crankshaft. You twist the throttle, and boost is instant. From idle to redline, it's a seamless, tsunami-like wave of force that feels less like acceleration and more like the horizon is being yanked towards you. The sound transitions from that eerie, pressurized whine at low revs into a shrieking, metallic, full-system roar at full chat. This isn't an engine you hear. It's an engine you feel in your teeth. It is, without question, the most violently visceral power plant ever bolted into a motorcycle frame. It makes everything else feel slow, lazy, and utterly pedestrian. Now, containing this level of contained thermonuclear fury requires a chassis that is less a frame and more a containment vessel. Kawasaki starts with their signature trellis design, but crafted from ultra-high tensile steel, triangulated and gusseted to a level of rigidity that borders on the absolute. This thing cannot flex. It cannot shudder. It must be an immutable, unchanging conduit between that unholy power and the rear tire. But the real story is the obsessive, fanatical pursuit of weight reduction, or rather, the lack of it. Every single body panel, the aggressive, angular shrouds, the tiny fly screen, the razor-sharp tail section, is crafted from matte finish, aerospace-grade, pre-preg carbon fiber. Not for show, for salvation. They've likely shaved tens of kilograms from the street-legal H2's weight, targeting a wet figure somewhere in the terrifying ethereal realm of 190 to 195 kilograms, 419 to 430 pounds. Let that math dance in your head for a second. Over 350 horsepower, under 200 kilograms. The power-to-weight ratio is not just superior, it's from another dimension. It redefines the scale. This chassis philosophy turns the Z H2R from a potentially unwieldy monster into a shockingly agile weapon. The geometry is tightened, shorter wheelbase, steeper rake, making it flickable, almost nervous. The weight, what little there is of it, is centralized so perfectly that the bike feels like it rotates around a point inside your own chest. This isn't a clumsy dragster, it's a scalpel attached to a rocket. To connect this featherweight assassin to the track, you need suspension that isn't just reactive, but predictive. The Z H2R is equipped with the full Öhlins EC 2.0 electronic suspension package. This is MotoGP level hardware. The forks and TTX monoshock don't just absorb bumps, they use data from the bike's brain to actively fight undesirable forces. Under the H2R's apocalyptic acceleration, the system will subtly stiffen the rear to combat wheelie and keep the front end planted. Under the equally apocalyptic braking, it will firm the forks to eliminate dive and maintain chassis geometry. It is a constant, silent partner, working in real time to keep the tires perfectly married to the asphalt, maximizing the contact patch when you need it most. And you will need to stop. The brakes are Brembo's absolute pinnacle, Stylema R calipers. That R matters. It signifies the lightest, stiffest, most track-focused iteration of the legendary monoblock. They clamp down on massive, lightweight 330mm discs. The initial bite is violent. The progression is linear. The feel is so telepathic you can sense the temperature of the rotor. This is backed by Kawasaki's track-tuned KIBS ABS, a system smart enough to prevent a lockup, but permissive enough to let a professional rider dance on the very edge of adhesion. The electronics suite is the only thing making this machine rideable by a human. It's not an aid, it's a co-pilot for a mission to Mars. A 6-axis Bosch IMU models the bike's behavior in 3D space, hundreds of times per second. The traction control isn't there to stop wheel spin, it's there to manage it, allowing the optimal amount of slip for maximum drive out of a corner. The launch control is a necessity, not a party trick. Without it, that instant supercharger boost would loop the bike into the stratosphere. The quick shifter is seamless, even on full throttle upshifts that would grenade a lesser gearbox. Everything is displayed on a stark, customizable TFT display that shows only the essentials: RPM, gear, lap time, lean angle. There are no frills here. Only data for domination. Visually, it is function distilled to its most brutal essence. The Sugoi design language is stretched, sharpened, and stripped of all pretense. The carbon fiber bodywork is matte, technical, menacing. The giant supercharger intake duct is the centerpiece, a gaping maw that screams forced induction. The riding position is pure race torture, high rear sets, low clip-ons, a seat that's more a perch than a place to sit. This bike doesn't invite you, it challenges you. All of this leads to the inevitable, breathtaking number, the price. Developing a small volume, track-only supercharged hyper-weapon with a full carbon fiber body and MotoGP-level electronics is an exercise in financial insanity. The projected manufacturer's suggested retail price for the 2027 Kawasaki Z H2R is approximately $55,000. Let's be unequivocal. That is an astronomical sum of money. For that, you could buy a very nice car. You could buy 2 top-spec, street-legal hyper-nakeds. You could build an entire garage of fantastic motorcycles. But you are not buying any of those things, you are buying a singularity. You are purchasing a ticket to a level of performance that simply does not exist anywhere else in the two-wheeled world. You are investing in an engineering artifact, a statement of intent from a company that refuses to follow the rules. You are paying for the right to experience that otherworldly supercharged thrust, the sound of mechanical fury, and the feeling of riding a machine that exists solely to push the boundaries of what is possible. It is the ultimate because we can motorcycle. It has no practical purpose. Its purpose is to inspire awe, terror, and a fundamental question: what is the limit? For $55,000, Kawasaki's answer is a shrug and the whine of a supercharger spinning up to show you. So what do you think? Does the Z H2R represent the glorious, absurd peak of internal combustion madness, or is it a $55,000 monument to excess with no real-world relevance? Could anything with less than a supercharger ever hope to compete with this kind of violent, instant force? Let me know in the comments below. If you believe motorcycles should be about pushing limits into the realm of dreams, subscribe to Chrono Wheels. Thanks for watching.